You are in the forest and you are clearing brush, trying to find the fence, and then you turn and you look and you're like, oh, there it is. I'm literally 1 foot away from it. Yay, I found the fence. And I actually found the end roll of the fence. Yay! So I have started a new project, or actually I'm trying to finish a new project, and we're going to walk you back to it right now. Living in the Pacific Northwest, this is literally what I was looking at for about a week of clearing of the land. It is solid blackberry and red elderberries, which are usable but poisonous. And I actually love red elderberries. I will do a video on that at a later date. But this is what I was looking at while I was clearing the land. And this is what the land looks like after I got done clearing it. This is an area that is pretty much, you see off in the distance, that is zone 5. And I have a fence that's all the way around the usable area that I want to use. So I'm trying to create a zone 4 that graduates into a zone 5 gradually. And this is the area now that we are going to be working with. Now, I want you to see just for a moment what I have to work with. This is my problem. We have blackberries that are native, and so native here that you have to chop them down every 2 weeks, or they literally, like this, will take over. So this is out our back window, and it literally has been 2 weeks since I chopped them down about 2 feet from that wall. So I need to find a way to work that area, that zone 4, so that these blackberries don't overtake. Now, I want to show you what it looks like now. I've been in there, I've cleared out, and you see that it is walkable, passable, and the blackberries are not catching my clothing. Now, we live on a very steep, sloped part of the land, and at the upper level of the land, we have buildings that I have put gutters on and directed the water, which in our county we can do. I've directed the water that's coming off of those gutters into barrels, and then when those barrels fill up, they're diverted down into this barrel that you see sunk in the ground here. And then when that barrel is filled up, it goes out into the creek bed, the dry creek bed that we have down below. Now, I had to empty this barrel that you see all the water gushing out of, because when these barrels fill up, they are heavy. And this barrel is actually going to be used to collect water from the cottage that we're in, so that we can direct that to water the below area down by the chicken coop. We have a garden down there, and I'll be showing it to you all in a while. So I just thought it was interesting. I had to drill a hole in the side of it, and the water just starts gushing out. So we're directing and we're holding on to the water, and this is how we water our garden. Is we water the garden by all of the rainwater that flows off of our roofs, off the buildings. Now, we get 40 to 80 inches of rain a year, and we get them in spurts. So we could go for 2 weeks with no rain, which we'll have to supplement water our garden at times, or we can go for a month and a half with no rain. A month and a half is about the longest that we go with no rain, and at that point in time, that's when I go to use the stored water that we have. We also lose power a lot in the winter, and when we lose power, I actually come out here, grab a gallon bucket full of water, and use that to flush the toilet. So here's what we have. We have this area that is just not, I'm not going to be landscaping every single square inch of this 2-acre property. We have an exterior fence, an outside fence to keep the medium to large size critters out. Anywhere where a deer could jump over, because they jump 9 feet tall, has been reinforced or is being reinforced with a fencing that we have found that works to keep deer out. And this area right here in the permaculture world is going to be the transition 4 to 5. So out there you see is wilderness area. I'll show it to you a little bit more. Out there is zone 5. That's where you just don't go. It's the wilderness. It's the forest. I have not touched it. So I put a fence right there, and I'm going to be building in front of that fence, as in planting things, so that I know that there is a fence to keep the deer and the critters out. When I say deer and critters, I mean cougars, bobcats, bears, raccoons, which climb the fence. But I know it's not going to keep them totally out, but it's a deterrent. You know, if they want what they see on the inside of this fence, they're going to get it. They'll get over the fence. A bear will totally get over the fence. A deer will jump, but it's a deterrent. It'll make them, and they do, kind of veer off into the forest, or they go around, or they go to the neighbor's yard. Yay! So what I'm doing here in this part that we're looking at is I'm actually transplanting all of the plants from our house build. Well, the ones that I said I was done and I was leaving and I was not going to transplant them. And then my heart was like, oh, I can't leave that one fig tree that literally was designed and built for the Pacific Northwest. I can't. So I just dug it up 5 minutes ago. I'm going to be putting that in the ground. Right now, what I'm going to do is actually lay out all the plants that I have. The daylilies, the Siberian irises, the apple tree. The deer totally decimated the apple tree. So, you know, I might as well just transplant it and see how it does. If it survives and does great, then we've got an apple tree. If not, then we don't have an apple. We have an apple stick. An apple stick. It's all good. So I'm going to be transplanting some ferns from the area. They're natural to our area. So we're going to be transplanting the fig trees. I have some red raspberries that are literally sitting right here in a bunch of water mess. I have asparagus floating around here somewhere. I have all these plants that are in containers, and I'm just going to transplant them, lay them out, design it on the land, and then sink them in the ground. Technically, it shouldn't take very long. I only have 2.5 days to finish this project because the rains are coming. Oh my gosh, and the rains are coming. Huh. Anyways, I'm gonna get going. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comment below. I would love it if you would like, subscribe, comment, and hit the notification bell down there. That way you'll get notified whenever we post a video. Oh, I need to move those ferns too. I just have so much to do. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Here is a day of transplanting and moving. Hello, Max. We have Siberian irises and daylilies and chives, sweet alyssum, calendula, more daylilies. We transplanted ferns. We transplanted sage. We transplanted onions. And we transplanted more alyssum, more sage, ferns. We transplanted a fig tree that loves the Pacific Northwest, another purple sage, marshmallow plant, another purple sage, and foxgloves. I know you think I'm crazy for transplanting foxgloves, but hey, you know, transplanted more ferns. We pulled out more, or I pulled out more blackberry vines. So we have more daylilies. And then up there, we rescued a rosemary. You'll have to forgive me, I'm exhausted. We have more daylilies. Daylilies are my plant of choice. And then we zoom in right there, and we have, it looks like a stick with a little green at the bottom. That's going to be a black currant. Hopefully it will come back. Well, it is coming back, which is why I saved it. So it'll have the winter to recover. So we have some oregano and honeyberry. Now it wasn't doing very well where it was, so hopefully we have 3 honeyberry. One of them looks totally completely dead. This one looks like it was trying to come back. This is more daylilies, more ferns, a fig, Poor little guy, he is drooping. This is the Fuji apple that the deer decimated. It was going to be espalier, so hey, if it does well, it does well. Another honeyberry. Whew. And another black currant right up there. These are all up at the very top. Those are all kiwis, and I probably will move those out to cover the whole barn area. We have another rosemary. Slugs don't like rosemary, so those are amazing to plant. And another fig. So this is what we have on this bank here. Woo, falling into the brush. So let's get you a wide shot. I haven't planted right up at the very top because I'll be putting a little wall to retain about a couple feet from the top. Oh, the cats are already inspecting. And there is Maggie. Maggie, our dog, you're looking at me, baby. She has had leprosy. She got a cut from a blackberry, and a spore from the leprosy entered into her ear and created a humongous sore, tumor-like sore. 7 to 10 months of medication, and she's perfectly fine. But that does exist here in the Pacific Northwest, and dogs that have low immune systems, which is Maggie, can't fight it off like normal dogs do. So people, I am going to go in and take a shower because I see my amazing husband walking down the driveway. Hello there, handsome. Hello. And life is done. I have a couple more plants to transplant in this planter area, and I will probably do that later. I do not have to do that now. I'm going to pick up my sunglasses that I swear I would forget, and the potato I found digging in the ground, and go figure out what to make for dinner. Bye, you guys.